Welcome back. This is the 7th in a video series on cybersecurity program development. All the videos are based on my book, Cybersecurity Program Development for Business, The Essential Planning Guide, published by Wiley. It is available at Amazon and at fine booksellers everywhere. Today's topic, controls. In cybersecurity, there are 4 broad types of controls: preventative controls, detective, corrective, and compensatory. Some analysts include the 5th type, called a targeted control or a countermeasure, and that addresses a very specific threat or a specific vulnerability. For our purposes and for simplicity's sake, I'm going to include targeted controls as part of the 4 categories, depending on how they function. First, preventative controls. Think of preventative controls as the road barriers of the information highway. They're designed to stop an attacker from getting to the asset in the first place. If the asset involves physical protection, then a good example of a preventative control would be security guards. Digital equivalents of the security guard include antivirus and anti-malware software, cybersecurity awareness training, data loss prevention systems, firewalls, gateways, and intrusion prevention systems. Next up, detective controls. If the preventive controls are the road barriers, the detective controls are the motion sensors that let you know that somebody's in the room. The idea behind them is to detect abnormalities and raise the alarm. Some controls listed as examples as under preventive controls work here as well. For example, antivirus and anti-malware systems intrusion prevention systems can be considered both preventive and detective controls. Other examples of detective controls include intrusion detection systems and security information and event management systems, CIEMs. Then we have the corrective controls. Like the name implies, these are controls that focus on repairing damage during or after an attack. Many targeted controls fall in this category. For example, vulnerability patching is a corrective control, but the ultimate corrective control is backup. There is no substitute to the feeling of relief that you will have when you know that you have a good, solid backup set from which you can restore your data. Trust me on this. Make sure backups are solid or you really hate yourself in the morning. Finally, we have compensatory controls. These are the types of controls you put in place when you know that all of your other controls cannot mitigate one or more risks all the way down to the desired level, be it a level required by regulators or simply your own peace of mind. In a perfect world, every company would address every vulnerability in a perfect way with perfect timing. But that's not our world. You may find, for example, that you cannot apply a necessary security patch or upgrade because doing so will cause havoc with your systems downstream. Or you may have a recovery time objective that's so short, no backup strategy can ever meet it. Typical examples of compensating controls include hot file oversights, that's mirror sites where duplicate systems and facility exists, access controls, depending on your clearance and the data's classification function, and geography. And the extremely important one, especially for insider threats, segregation of duties. All of these different controls, there is one that spans them all, and it's the one that's most effective control ever developed in cybersecurity. What's this amazing control? People. People are the most effective cybersecurity control. Properly trained, informed, and supported, nothing comes close. It's critical that you account for this control in your planning. Now, how do you deploy all these different controls? What's the strategy that maximizes your protection? The right way to use all of these controls is by deploying them across systems in a way that achieves what's called defense in depth. This has the effect of putting multiple and diverse barriers between the attacker and the asset. This strategy looks different from case to case, from cloud systems versus office systems versus mobile systems, but it has proven to be the best way to protect yourself and your assets. Defense in depth has its own governing triad: people, technology, and operations, in that order. You layer your controls in an order such that people, technology, and operations are maximally protected. Historically speaking, defense in depth can trace its roots all the way to the ancient military tactics. Consider, for instance, the multiple layers of protection that are being employed by the lord of an average castle. Moat, tall walls, hot boiling water, tar, naphtha, arrows, swords, spears, you name it. If you translate all the creative ways people used to protect their castles into the electronic realm, then you've got your basic defense in depth concept down. Think layers. Layer your controls in such a way so that when one fails, the other one kicks in. For more information, please watch the rest of my short videos and check out my book, Cybersecurity Program Development for Business, The Essential Planning Guide. And you can always reach me and ask me questions by visiting cybersecurityforbusiness.com. Thank you.